Life brings everyone to darkness at least once. Sometimes that darkness surrounds us from the outside, and sometimes it slowly grows inside our hearts, quietly, without warning. This story begins in such a darkness. In a crowded city, hidden among narrow streets and tired buildings, lived a young man named Ayan. He wasn't born unlucky, but life had never been gentle with him either. His dreams were large, ambitious, full of fire. But reality met those dreams with closed doors, unpaid bills, silent phones, and constant rejection. Every morning, Ayan stood in front of the mirror, asking himself the same painful question. I'm trying so hard, so why am I still stuck? He worked. He struggled. He pushed himself forward every single day. Yet peace never followed him home. Money didn't satisfy him. Success never stayed. And happiness felt like a stranger who passed by without stopping. Then life collapsed all at once. He lost his job. Friends slowly drifted away. The expectations of his family began to feel heavier than his failures. That night, the power went out. His room was swallowed by darkness. No phone, no light, just silence and breathing thoughts that refused to sleep. Sitting on the floor, staring into nothing, Ayan whispered words that would echo in his mind for years. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Those words have weight. They sink deep. Sometimes they don't just describe pain, they create it. And darkness isn't always the absence of light. Sometimes it's the absence of belief. What Ayan didn't know was this. When the night feels endless, somewhere beyond sight, the first ray of light is already preparing to rise. The next morning, Ayan walked out of his house without a destination. He wasn't searching for answers. He was escaping his own thoughts. The city was awake. People rushed toward their lives. But Ayan walked aimlessly, disconnected from everything around him. Then he stopped. In front of him stood an old library. Its door was half open, as if time itself had forgotten to close it. Inside, an elderly man sat behind a wooden desk, surrounded by books that carried the dust of decades. His beard was white, his eyes calm, and his presence felt strangely peaceful. He looked at Ayan and smiled. People who are lost, the old man said gently, are often the ones about to learn something important. Ayan said nothing. He simply sat down across from him. The man placed an old book on the table and spoke again. Life hasn't broken you. You've just been reading it the wrong way. Ayan finally looked up. But I have failed, he said quietly. The old man chuckled. Failure is only real when learning stops. You, my friend, are only beginning. Those words felt like a match struck in a dark cave. Small, fragile, but powerful. The old man explained how pain shapes wisdom, how mistakes carry lessons, and how struggle is often life's way of preparing us for something greater. For the first time in months, Ayan felt something unfamiliar. Hope. When he stepped outside the library, sunlight touched his face. The city was the same. The noise was the same. But something inside him had shifted. This was the first ray of wisdom. Days passed, then weeks. Ayan returned to the library every morning. The old man never rushed. He never lectured. Instead, he told stories. Stories of people who fell and rose stronger. Of people who lost everything and found meaning. Of those who walked through darkness and became light themselves. Slowly, Ayan began to understand something life had never taught him before. Success is not an event. It is a process. He started changing small habits. Waking up earlier. Learning without expecting immediate results. Working without needing applause. Resting without guilt. Some days were still painful. Failure still came. Self-doubt still knocked on his door. But now, doubt no longer controlled him. He had learned something far more valuable than comfort: resilience. He realized that the darkest moments don't destroy us. They reveal us. And people who only walk in the light never discover their strength. But those who continue walking through darkness eventually become the source of light. One evening, the old man said quietly, "Remember this. Those who search for light outside themselves eventually grow tired. But those who ignite light within can never be extinguished." These words became the second and third rays of wisdom, patience, and belief. Months later, Ayan returned to the library. It was closed. The door was locked. The lights were off. The old man was gone. Inside one of the books, Ayan found a small note. You are ready. The journey to receive light ends here. The journey to give light begins now. Tears filled his eyes. In that moment, Ayan finally understood. Wisdom is not knowledge. Wisdom is responsibility. Today, Ayan is no longer the man he once was. He still struggles. He still falls. But he never stays down. He walks with purpose now. He speaks with meaning. And his story becomes light for others finding their way through darkness. If you're watching this and feel lost, if the night feels endless, remember this. Darkness is never permanent. Every night leads to morning. And for every soul searching for meaning, there are always rays of wisdom waiting to rise.